Hey, this is just Ben on the front end, here to tell you to give the podcast a rating if you don't mind, and follow it or subscribe to it on whatever you're listening to this on. If you want to send us an email, we'll read it and maybe talk about it on the show. It's deadensigns@gmail.com, and we got a Twitter. Anyway, if you could do all that, please. That'd be really nice. Bye, enjoy the show.
Simon & Schuster AudioWorks presents Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, here we go again. A meme.
Here it goes.
CJ walking towards the bicycle, and then in San Andreas meme format template.
Yeah. I got you know what? First 10 minutes. Let's go in a little easy. It's the time everybody waited for. Here we go. We've been waiting for this.
The time with the Star Trek themed podcast talks about
finally.
Trek
wait, what are you
primarily.
talking about?
Oh yeah.
No, bro, I was talking about Abbey Road. I finally got to it.
Yeah, you got to it.
Finally got to it, man. Abbey Road.
It's a
let
classic.
me tell you, I listened to the first song. Wasn't as good as I was hoping. I got to Maxwell's Silver Hammer, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this, and I turned it off. I didn't listen to the rest.
And then you looked at the notifications and Discovery just came out. It's like, might as well watch that.
The what now?
Oh yeah,
huh?
The new Beatles album. It's called Star Trek Discovery.
Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah,
that's a very strange name considering there's 4 seasons of a TV show called Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, I know. Somehow, with their star power, they were able to just go.
I guess it is the Beatles.
Yeah, what can you do?
What can you do?
It's when David Bowie picks you as this next persona. You can't really do much about it, Yeah,
that's kind of Wait, David Bowie?
Yeah, it's a side reference.
John Lennon?
Yeah. Nah.
Paul McCartney?
Right. Yeah.
Ringo.
I like the idea that you listening to the Beatles just caused you to not know any other music. Like it completely a cancer. Yeah, it's
that's
cancer.
that's the divine aspect, the psychic power of that music, right? It rewrites your brain chemistry.
Yeah.
I was hating them for a bit, but now I'm like all in. Now I listen to the songs and I'm like, you know what? They deserved all of the fame.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, they were bigger than Beatles. I mean, they were bigger than Jesus. You know what I mean. Anyway, Max, did you hear Ari Aster and Don Hertzfeldt are both interesting auteur filmmakers collaborating on a feature-length animated film.
I thought animation is dead because the Pink Floyd won the music video for the Pink Floyd thing won an AI-generated music video won that, so we don't need animators anymore.
No, you misunderstand. It just means that silly, weird little art types can go and make their movies that nobody will see and make any money, and us who live in the real world can get our nice content that we want.
Yeah.
And they can go and they can smell their own farts and fucking sit in their little tiny cinemas and watch their stupid little films. While we're over here and we're like, I want to see Jack Reacher with Johnny Depp and Zoidberg from Futurama.
I also want to see Constantine 2 with...
I want to see Constantine 2, but I'm in it. I'm Constantine now.
Yeah. Chat GPT, please generate Constantine 2.
Chat GPT, make Max Payne the movie, but good.
Yeah.
Enter. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So...
Would you be surprised to find out that these two directors are going to tackle existential horror? I would be. I'm like, that's a strange area for those two guys.
I don't know these guys. I haven't never spoke to them. I've never like had
I
a
could never
longer conversation with them.
I could never ever judge a film or television show or any music because I don't know the people that made it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just have to see it and be like, well, I don't know. I can't really say one thing one way or the other because I don't know the person.
Yeah.
No,
I need to see him at a party or something, go to the event where they're at and do a little like sonder over and go like
excuse me, sir, are you Ari Aster, creator of the strange thing about the Robinsons?
Yeah.
What were you doing with that film? Explain to me.
Yeah, because like
what were you trying to get at there?
I make this like shitty podcast and I just I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't want to.
I wanted to talk about the movie where the son like sexually assaults his dad.
Yeah, well,
constantly. What was happening in that one?
Yeah.
What were you cooking up there?
Yeah. And then he goes like, "Well, let me tell you a story." And he puts his arm around me, and we walk.
And then it turns out he's in a yesterday scenario, and he can't explain where he got the idea from because he just stole it from his own universe.
Oh yeah, of course.
He's doing the yesterday thing, where he's like, "Oh, it happened to a friend's son."
So did your friend's son molested him? No. He told me a story actually.
Yeah, he told me it was a story that he came up with. So you stole it off of him?
No.
He said I could make it, and then he died.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, it's a tragic.
And what about Hereditary? Dude, I just gotta. Just that one straight off the dome.
Yeah.
Little do we know, in his universe, it's a damn biopic.
Yeah, of course.
It was real.
It happened for real.
He came over here and he was like, "You guys don't know about that girl whose head got cut off when she was having an anaphylactic shock, eating peanuts. She put her head out the car window, got taken off by a telephone pole. You guys don't know that one? Well, cha-ching! I'm about to make some cash."
Yeah. You need to see, that's like your job as a person, right? That's
my job as a person.
Purpose, right?
Tell you what, who needs a fucking purpose?
Is to find which yesterday scenario you are in right now. What piece of media is missing from this world?
Because I must find my purpose. I must find my purpose, or I guess the implication is I'll have to kill myself. Much like Stamets in the new season of Star Trek Discovery Season 5.
And also Burnham saying it directly into the camera.
It was a really strange line, like when she said it to him so coldly, like, "You will find your purpose." I'm like, this motherfucker's got a husband. Yeah, why can't he just chill for a bit?
Yeah.
I think the story should be more about learning to chill rather than being like, "Oh, if I don't find my purpose again soon, I guess I'll just kill myself."
Yeah, it's like welcome everybody. This is Dead Ensigns, the #1 Star Trek Discovery themed podcast.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah, we're finally talking about this. Is
baby.
We're co-captains right here. I'm co-captain #1.
We're back. They put us back in the seat.
Maybe I don't want to say who's first.
Max is my #1, even though he was the superior captain with lots and lots of experience.
Actually, I am.
The
kind
thing
of
is,
embarrassing for me,
honestly, is kind of like very grating towards me. He's very we don't quite get along. I went to him and I said, "Do you want to be my #1?" And he was like, "I'm not going to be a yes man."
And I unzipped my pants like the guy who did in the movie.
What the hell?
No, I'm joking. He doesn't unzip his pants. He zips up his jacket, but you can just hear it, and it sounds pretty funny when you think that it's his pants instead.
Max, what do you think of getting a red directive? Have we heard of a red directive before? I don't think I've ever heard of a red directive.
I don't know.
Is
this some like fucking Section 31 and other bullshit that they shouldn't be existing, but they're naming shit like that?
Well, the way that the guy talks about it, the fucking Dr. Corvitz or whatever talks about it, It's like even he doesn't know. He's like, this is
Yeah.
just a thing that we do apparently. Red Directive. This, I tell you what.
Yeah, I just googled it. It's a Red Directive 34 second century of. Yeah, this is just Discovery thing.
Watching Discovery season 5 is our Red Directive. I think we don't know why we have to do it, but we know we have to uphold this operation to the utmost of our abilities.
But there has to be a way for us to find out why we're doing it too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hack into the dead Ensigns archives and find out why are we doing this to ourselves.
And
it's because the very origins of us doing this show was, let's watch Star Trek Discovery and talk about it while we're watching it.
Yeah.
And then we didn't talk about it for like a year, and we were like, we should probably watch this shitty show, right? We should probably get back around to watching this show that sucks ass, right?
This is like, getting the team back together. When you get this scene where like
which a lot of this season feels very much so far as getting the gang back together, even though in theory it's only been like a year since their last foray.
Boys are back in town plays the entire episode, or the entirety of the season,
Yeah,
as they're getting
and
together.
I got a few stray observations. We'll get into the main plot itself. I got a few stray observations early on to tie into what I was saying just a second ago. The show is like it's interesting. The way I put it is like everyone in this show talks like friends who haven't seen each other in 6 years, spending a weekend away together.
Yeah,
They're everybody in this show talks.
Yeah.
One, they talk like they haven't spoken to each other in like 6 years, and two, they also talk like they know it's the final season.
That is true. Yeah.
There's a lot of dialogue that is like they're all talking in a way that it's like, do the characters, if they read the script, they like, no, all right, this is going to be it now. We need to make sure that everything we say to each other feels like poignant and like we're summing up our relationship over the course of 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And like putting a bow on it, like every single line we're saying is maybe the last line we'll say to each other in the history, in our existence.
Mm-hmm. As we
so
poof
it kind
out
of
of
sucks.
Existence because
kind
we
of
don't make the
schlocky.
show again. Yeah,
a little corny, but Max, what are your initial thoughts? General thoughts. So far.
And I don't know, man. Like,
I don't know either.
Getting through the second episode was very.
Second
rough.
episode does not have a lot going on in it.
Yeah,
and let me tell you, dude. The first episode is pretty action-packed, and yet for some reason they were still so afraid of people turning off after like 15 minutes that they had to start in media res 20 minutes from when the show begins.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all. I was like, why did they... Yeah, I was like, we got to the same spot, and I was like, why did we do this? Why
it's because they were worried people would see all of them talking around for the first like 10 minutes and be like, yawn, click.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Turn that shit off.
So they have to start showing us like, whoa, Burnham is right. She's standing on the back of a ship traveling at warp speed. She's trying to break into the ship. She's got a face. She's like,
and she's like, not a boring moment with you guys or something like that.
Yeah, she's like,
my friends,
another exciting adventure. Am I right, everybody?
Yeah.
Wow,
Winks at the camera.
Are we ever going to get a moment's break, everybody? Am I right? Oh God, how did we even get in this mess? This is crazy.
After this show ends.
Yeah. Hey, spoiler alert, Burnham. We got into this mess because you had a weird, stupid idea that didn't seem to be thought out in any way whatsoever. Anyway, we get that, and then they go 4 hours earlier. They're at like a Federation cocktail party because it's been like 1,000 years or something since the Federation was founded, and everybody's just like, boy, how far we've come, right?
Yeah, we did this, the Discovery, the ship Discovery revived the Federation by itself.
What else is there even to do at this point? We solved the burn. We stopped that big hole that was sucking up things and killing people. Turns out it was a misunderstanding. Who would have thought? And I guess we're just gonna chill. Everybody's gonna go their separate ways. Tilly's a teacher still. Stamets doesn't have purpose because they shelved the spore drive project. because of all the shit that happened.
The guy from the Mirror Universe stole it and just fucking threw it in the
he put it
hole
in
to
Book's
destroy
ship,
it. Yeah.
and then Book's ship got destroyed or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're
something
just kind of like, well, I guess we won't do any more spore drive research for some reason.
Yeah,
Sorry, Stamets.
because they mentioned some sort of path drive or whatever.
Yeah, they're like the pathway drive, which they haven't. I don't think they've really explained it anyway yet in these first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe we'll find out, and then they're foreshadowing the fact that, it turns out the pathway drive might actually be bad.
I also think that. And then they're going to be Stamets is going to be like, oh,
Stamets
well,
be like,
interesting, because I have some sort of technology that we could be using instead, and my purpose is back. I don't have to kill myself.
But worry not, because Gray, no, what's their name?
Gray, I think, right? Fuck.
Isn't Gray the boyfriend Trill who's
that's true.
pulling the empty 40s out of the Trill ponds?
Let me
help me out
here. Adira. Yep.
They make an astute observation that, well, Stamets, don't worry, that just means that the Discovery will always be a unique, special ship.
Little boy.
Much like the show itself.
Yeah.
It's a special, unique show that's stupid. Anyway, they're just kind of chilling, hanging out. Eventually, Burnham's like, well, I guess we gotta go and mingle. I hate networking. Networking's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's
well.
guys, wink wink, isn't that also, but in the future it's still you still have to do it. Wink
even
wink.
Even in the fucking 3rd millennium, we still have to adult sometimes.
Yeah, so Tilly goes off to like
cake is eternal.
Get some
I love math.
I think Tilly is like, I need to go get some dick, I think. There was
she sees a hot guy and she's like, oh, damn, I want him to be in...
Yeah, and then...
But then
Stamets is like, I need to
Stamets.
be like a... What did he say? He's like a science... something. He was
luminary.
A luminary or something.
At first, he's like, I'm gonna go home and kill myself, and they're like, come on,
come on, man.
Oh,
give it a try.
Just go hang out. So he goes and hangouts with his boyfriend, his husband.
A husband.
Burnham goes and talks to some people, and then what's his nuts? The guy from the 3rd season comes up, and he's like, "You have to come to the hyperbolic time chamber now. We have a secret mission."
That would be pretty funny if it turns out they just drop it on us at the end of Discovery that like Stamets and what's he called, Hugh aren't married.
It would be
no.
He
says
says
in a
husband.
partnership because it's in this federation. It's illegal, and I was like, that would be the biggest.
You're
like,
saying
drop.
they have like a civil marriage or whatever. What is it? Common law marriage,
and it plays like the evil Earth theme as they
no.
say it. You know, so I don't know. I don't know why I would just be like. Like my jaw would drop, I think, if I saw that.
It would be crazy, man.
Yeah.
But Burnham, though, is in the hyperbolic time chamber. Dr. Corvitz explains there's a red directive. We found an 800-year-old Romulan vessel. Immediately, my brain's going, oh, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened 800 years before that? Well, let's just say that's Picard's time. Yeah, brother, here we go. Yeah. They spared no expenses to deliver us a story that is somewhat recognizable to things you already like.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. They made the mistake of not doing that previous season, so they had to.
Yeah, they were like, people are gonna love our brand new thing. Oh no, they don't.
No, they don't. They don't like the 4 seasons of this.
No, they really didn't like any of the things we gave them. Oh, fuck. Oh, we're fucked. What made Picard work somewhat, at least in that 3rd season, for idiots? Oh, yeah, we just made it have all of the things that people recognize.
Mm-hmm,
Just try that. Let's make it a story that people know. 800-year-old Romulan vessel is floating around. 2 random people, a lady and a weird alien, turn up, and they're like, "Let's find the secret thing we have to find."
Yeah, we're what skullduggers, like squandrels, what are they called? Like scoundrels. Yeah, they're scoundrels.
They're just looking for crap, I think.
Yeah.
And then little do they know they stumbled on the find of the century. Burnham goes to intercept. They got to go on the vessel and get this thing that they've found. Turns out this is one of the most important things in all of existence.
Ever. Yeah.
This thing is the key to the secret of the galaxy.
Yeah.
This is more important than that weird guy they locked in the center of the galaxy.
Yeah, it is.
It's more important than all of that shit. Okay,
it's more important than the like time guy that was on that one planet.
It's more important than the time guy.
Yeah.
Fuck the time
Michelle
crystals.
Yeoh away. You know?
Yep, it's more important than him. More important than any Q.
More important than the fucking squid monster that came out of Picard's season 1
More
thing.
important than the butthole squid monster that came out of the portal in Picard. More important than...
And then they close it and it goes, no!
It goes, I have to go back. Goes back in. It's more important than all that. It's more important than the guys in the other galaxy who were sucking up all of our resources, quote unquote, accidentally.
And they went, did I do that?
Oh, oopsie, sorry, we had no idea there was intelligent life
genocide.
There.
Because technically they did commit genocide.
Yes, they did.
Book's planet got completely obliterated, so they killed all of their
entire species.
What are they called? Connox, Kazon,
I don't
or some
give a shit.
like that.
I literally do not care. Sorry, I can't even pretend that I want to put space in my brain to that. Burnham has to go over. Burnham and some other people who I can't remember go onto the ship with her, and it doesn't matter who they were in the end. They go over, they discover them, they get in a little tussle, but the people escape. They escape with this puzzle box. Get on their ship, warp out of there. Fuck, we gotta catch them.
Yeah.
Burnham luckily saw their cloaked ship first. She's like, oh, don't worry, don't shoot at them. I've got an idea. I'm gonna stand on their ship and break into it while it's in warp. So she does that, and they're in warp, and then her backup arrives, and they start like trying to tow it out of warp, which will kill Burnham. Not the ship, but it will kill Burnham because her plan is stupid.
Yeah,
and she's like, please stop doing this because you're going to kill me. And he's like, why are you doing that? And she's like, my idea is to break into them in the ship and warp. And he's like, why?
Yeah, because she wanted to disable the engines. That's what she wanted to specifically
She wanted to disable the engines.
And then because he's like, I don't know, because like I feel like the language in this fucking the show is so like, I think they meant like his ship is gonna fall apart too. Like if he continues to be in the warp bubble, like it's gonna collapse and because they're like basically playing chicken. I think that's what is happening, right? It's like who's gonna get out of the warp first, sort of thing. But at the same time, Burnham is like, just like failing at the plan that she was doing because she couldn't survive in the warp bubble for too long either, and stuff like that. I don't know.
It's a comedy of errors because these people have the most important thing in the galaxy and they need to get it back. If they don't get it back, the galaxy might be doomed.
Yeah.
Either way, they get away. They do a thing that I don't think we've seen anybody in Star Trek do yet, which is have like little dummy warp signatures created by little drones.
Yeah.
Which is a good idea, and it makes you think like, man, why haven't people been doing that?
Honestly, like,
It took them 1,000 years to think. I mean, I guess I can't complain because it's not like I thought about it sooner as well. But, it took them a while, and they're still like, this is a crazy idea. But I thought after that, so they use their special thing, and then they're like, oh, there's 20 warp signatures. It'll take us days to find out which one was actually theirs. And even then, they'll be long gone by that point. You know what I kind of thought after that? Isn't the fucking Discovery got like instant teleportation?
Yeah, but
can't they just like zip around to each one and be like, nope, not them. Try a different one. Zip, nope, not here.
But they're cloaked, so they can't, like just do that, right? They can't just find them at the location, right? I guess
surely what I mean though is like surely they could. This would be much quicker. Surely they could calculate the trajectory of all those warps, right?
Mm-hmm.
and then set up a sequence of
Jumps.
sport jumps that they could get ahead of them. See, that's a drone. Zip, drone, and they wouldn't even statistically, they wouldn't have to check all 20. They would probably reach the one that was correct before they even get to the 20th one.
But the thing about it is, Ben, that they don't have to do that because they have their friendly courier around, which is also a kind of a criminal too, like a
I think
terrorist.
He's on like a work lease program.
Yeah,
he's technically in prison. Book is in prison, and it turns out Burnham and Book, they haven't spoken once since the end of the last season.
Yeah. And the actors also haven't spoken.
Yeah, the performers also haven't actually spoken to each other until they both came on set. And started talking to each other.
Yeah,
again.
and they should be having chemistry, but I don't know.
Well, that's a part of the plot is that they don't have chemistry anymore.
Ah, of course.
There's that bit later on where they're like, because remember in the last season, they would always do that cute thing where they would be like talking to each other and coming up with a plan, and they would both say like a place. They'd be like, Corbus maneuver, and then they'd be like, yeah, this is the idea, and then they'd pull off some stupid plan that we didn't know about. They do that later on in this episode, but they say different things, and they look at each other like, "Oh no,
the spark is gone. Yeah,
we're not in love anymore because we spent a year apart, and you're a terrorist, and I had to arrest you." Oops. Yeah, this made me think. You know what this made me think? When they pulled Book out of his work that he was doing, rehoming refugees who were lost because of the big crisis that wasn't his fault.
Yeah, that wasn't his fault.
When they pulled him out, I was thinking about Paris, and it's like, I feel like I would be kind of pissed off if I was a prisoner of Starfleet, and they just came along and they were like, hey, you part of your sentence now is helping us with this job.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that, like, I feel like
this.
Yeah, exactly. And also Burnham, the same thing happened to Burnham. They pulled her out of prison because they needed her.
They were just like fuck it, we need you. Sorry.
Reality, like the reality of Star Trek would create. I think it would create like a next level, like uber imposter syndrome in people. Like it would literally people would kill themselves because they wouldn't be able to be like fucking Paris that can pilot anything, and like, you know, like it would literally create.
Can you imagine being like, oh, I'm up for a promotion soon. I'm gonna be a bridge crew member. I've really been putting in the hours. Yeah, and they're like, sorry, we took the terrorist out of prison so that he could help us. Yeah, decode the secret puzzle.
He's just so good, you wouldn't believe. Like,
you just don't get it. He's like so naturally good at that.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to try. I had to be in fucking academy, like a academy cramming, and this guy is just like straight out of prison. Like, oh fuck.
But I would be pissed off. I'd be like, man, is this all this? Like the punishment is for you is just putting like valuable people on ice so that you can like pull them out to use for stuff and then put them back.
Hooks.
Fuck that. No, I'm not helping you. Deal with it yourself. Sorry. Yeah. What are you gonna execute me? Go for it, fucker. Not very Federation of you.
And then Section 31 does a prisoner transfer that gets you out of the prisoner transfer. You're like, fuck you. I didn't want to be here. Well, you're here now.
Just conscientiously object. Just sit down and be like, I'm not going to do it. Sorry.
But then
you can't make me do it.
The cool thing about the reality of Star Trek is that there would be some contrivance, like narrative contrivance for you to. There'll be like a carriage. There'll be like 20 babies like rolling down the corridor on the ship, and you're like next to the the helm, and you're like, you could stop this, you know.
And at the end of the episode, it's on you to learn a lesson.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's on you to change, not the system.
Yeah, it's for you to change in a way where you join Starfleet.
Yeah, it's on you to change your ideals and get in line, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Anyway, they bring Book out of retirement. By retirement, I mean servitude.
Prison, yeah, he is like under servitude. Like he is. Yeah.
They're like, you need to do this is the job that you'll be doing. We know that you realize you were making a mistake in how you were handling your grief. But also, it was a crime, so you have to do all of this now. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he's gracious enough to be like, all right, you know what? Fair enough. You got me. You know what? I was gonna kill us and everybody and the aliens.
Yeah, exactly.
It was not. I wasn't thinking rationally. You know, that's fair.
Yeah. He had
And I'm not a
that
Vulcan,
mirror
so what
universe
can you
guy
do?
there squabbling in his ear,
Yep.
peer pressuring him
Worm
to.
tongue.
Yeah.
They bring in
just-
Book because the people they're dealing with are scoundrels.
They're
They're
couriers.
like Book was. So they're like,
And
Book,
with-
you need to help us. Where do you think these people went? And he's like, well, they had old stuff with them, so they probably
Yeah.
went to go sell them.
And also,
Sell it to this guy who buys old stuff.
he
They're
does
like, that's a
the
good idea as any.
he does the is it this episode where he does this psych evaluation of them and he says they're like two lovers or
Nope.
something.
Next episode.
Yeah, so,
No, because
yeah.
this episode is about them Book and Burnham and also the other guy with the pointy ears, the abrasive captain, Rayner, who Burnham's not really getting along with because he's very brash, he's very abrasive.
He's
And
hard-assed.
he's a bit of a hard ass, and he's at odds because he thinks he's got the experience and seniority
Yeah.
of a Burnham, and apparently he's dealt with lots of red directives before.
Yeah, and also
Which I'm like, how many of these things are there? It's been 50 years of this franchise, and we're only just finding out they exist.
yeah, well, Raina, let me ask you a question. Do you have a natural ability to just be so good that you can't fail?
I don't think you do.
Yeah, I don't think
I
you
don't
do.
That's why you're a side character.
Yeah, do you have the writers on your side just making your every decision you make the right one?
So also there's important to remember as well that Dr. Korvitz even says there's a bit when Burnham is like, don't worry, sir, we'll bring these two scoundrels in. And he's like, you don't understand. A red directive means that you can kill them if you want to.
Yeah, you have
And
to
she's
kill
like,
them, actually.
I can, what? I can kill them? And he's like, you need to kill them, in fact. Doesn't sound very Starfleet.
Yeah, well, you know,
Sounds very-
Section 30. It's because he's like I actually said, I called him. He's the G-man, like he is the G-man
G-man,
from
he is
Half-Life
G-Man,
2,
yeah.
like or Half-Life
Yeah.
series. You know, like he just walks around and he just talks like it looks like an alien, talks like an alien, and just kind of like, you know.
But for all intents and purposes, he's just a guy.
He's just a guy. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's like
Maybe
a
he's
Q entity. You know,
Maybe he's an AI.
Oh my god! If he turns out to be Q.
Maybe
or
he's
something.
a Q. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. We're getting off the synopsis. Book, Burnham, and our new friend Captain Rayner go down, and they're like, we need to find where they went, who they went to solve the thing to. Rayner's like, I'm going to do my own thing because I don't believe your plan will work. Like I said, he's abrasive. Turns out the two, who did they go and try and sell the thing to? Data! Well, not really.
Yeah,
But it's Data!
the wish data, yeah. They had
You
the
remember how-
Temu data.
Remember how, like, in Picard Season 1, the synths, they came back?
Mm-hmm.
Because they make a point to say that this guy isn't a flesh and blood android.
No, he's
His
like
technology is
OG.
older
Mm-hmm.
than the flesh and blood android.
Yeah.
Which means that he is made before the synth man, I guess? But also after when they started making lots of synths.
Yeah.
So he was hiding for like 50 years during the synth ban or
Because
something?
they say, because like when they open him up, they call something like A Sung or whatever, like, you know, AS in the, like, I don't know.
There's
like
a little reference to
like,
Soong in his
Yeah.
serial number. But it's like, so the thing that confused me, I'm like, none of the androids looked exactly like Data.
like Data, yeah.
None of them looked like they were cosplaying as Data. Some of them didn't even look golden like Data did. Some of them just looked like people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, where did
But on
this
the
dude come
planet, they
from?
were very like metallic. Like they had the metallic skin.
They
on
didn't look like Data though, you know?
They didn't. They looked hotter. They
did look
fucking
hotter.
hot.
They did look so attractive, and for some reason they were always twins. I don't
And they
know
also
why.
walked around in like loose clothing with midriffs.
It was very strange. It was very strange.
It's a
Either
very
way, there's
cool
an
planet.
android. He opens the puzzle box that the orc and the lady have. He opens it quickly because he's an android.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, I don't think Data had some. He was like, I need to analyze this, Captain. Whatever.
Yeah, but we don't have enough time for that. We can't spend a whole episode on this guy decoding a box, so he decodes it immediately. It's like an 800-year-old Romulan puzzle box.
That would be funny.
That would have been funnier if he was like slowly moving the things around, and then he just picked up his robot hand. He's like, bam.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out a little book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got all this Romulan text in it, and he flips through it really, really quickly, and he goes, "Oh yeah, this is pretty interesting. Tell you what, I'll give you like $5 for it."
Yeah, he uses like 3 bars of platinum or something.
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty
very low,
interesting.
but like I think
It's not
even
great,
Quark paid. I think like even Quark paid more platinum for things than fucking this guy. Like it's so weird.
He's like, I'll give you, I don't know, I can give you like $10, maybe $15 at most. It's interesting, but it's not really like worth my time. And then they're like, well, we'll take it to somebody else. He's like, well, okay, well, now I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, I know, it's so weird. Like that, he goes like, well,
haven't anybody ever heard of haggling
here? Yeah. Like
why you just be like, hey, I'll just give you a fair price for it? Why does he have to be like, yeah, this actually sucks, the thing that the Federation tried to kill you for actually is like actually not worth anything whatsoever.
Yeah, I know.
So
it was very
I'll just
weird.
take, you know what? Tell you what, I'll just take it off your hands for you and dispose of it.
Actually, you should be paying me to take
really,
it off.
For me to dispose of this properly for you, I would expect a fee, but you know what? Since you're nice people, I'll just do it. Pro bono. Don't worry.
Yeah. But they do a bunch of like choreographed fighting.
Yeah, they do a big fight, and they kill the android, and they kill his guards, and then they take the box and they leave. Byrne and Book show up at the android's place, and they're like, "Oh, there's been a fight. We need to find them."
Mm-hmm.
They went back to their ship. It's a ship that that the Federation are looking for, so they probably hid it outside of the city, cloaked. Makes sense. Yeah. I don't know why they needed to chase them immediately. I feel like they could have just waited for them to, like, leave the atmosphere and then tractor beam them or something.
Didn't they
But instead they're like, we need to catch them immediately while they're still on the planet. We can't even let them start to get to their ship.
Yeah, because it's like they said some bullshit about how they're going to use the tunnel network in the planet to hide themselves and then...
Oh, I don't
escape
remember that.
Like that's what they said, and
all right, okay.
The cloak technology, I guess, it's so good that they can cloak while they're in the caves and then fly out.
That's the beauty of being 1,000 years in the future, is that you don't even have to care about the technology aspect. You really can just write it like, no, fuck you, everything. Yeah. It can be whatever we want it to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, they track them. They follow the speedsters, the sand bikes.
Was it like sand walkers or like sand?
No, they're like speedsters.
I know, but they just called it something weird.
I think they called them speeders, didn't they?
I don't know. I don't remember. But like,
they do. They find them. They go after them.
They're already in their fucking ship. So,
it's like, what was the point?
Yeah.
And now Captain Rayner is like, don't worry, we'll shoot at them from orbit.
Yeah.
Even though they're right up next to this big mountain.
Yeah, they'll hull diver the fuck out of them.
Burnham is like, if you do that, there's going to be an avalanche. And Rayner is like, no, there isn't. And then he shoots.
No, because they were going to blow it up themselves. Like, they had explosives set in the thing to cover their tracks. And what happened is that Rayner was like, we can block them before they get to it, you know? But then what happened was they gave him the odds, of course, because they give him the odds, and like 30% that the avalanche is gonna destroy the city they just escaped, right? And
30% chance that the Federation will cause an even bigger problem than what was happening in the first place.
Exactly. So he goes, you just do it or whatever, because he's a captain of his ship, so that he can do whatever the fuck he wants with it. So they orbital strike the mountainside. It doesn't cause an avalanche. It covers, like, the caves collapse.
Yeah.
But then the fucking guys just shoot the fucking hill more and cause an avalanche, which is like, and they kind of blame him for it, which I don't really get, because they could have just done it themselves, you know. I guess if they blocked their path, right, they pushed them, right, they escalated, right, by blocking their path.
Nobody's running on full gas here, I think. I think everybody's kind of like, they like woke up from a nap at like 20 minutes ago. They're still kind of getting the lay of the land and everything, you know. They're like, well, maybe if we shoot it, there won't be an avalanche. And then they shoot it more, and it's like, fuck, now there's an avalanche.
Yeah.
So the Federation has to stop a problem they caused.
Yeah.
So there's a big exciting sequence in which they have to come up with a plan to block the avalanche from hitting the town, and they do. That's it, basically. There's like a 10-minute sequence where they do it.
I don't know why, but I feel like I'm just growing allergic to the idea of like these situations, because it has to be action. It's an action show, so like all these problems have to be. It will be a problem cut to the like science room or the like engineering, and they're like walking around, and it's like, what should we do? What should we do?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do this, and then we can do that. It's like, oh, we have 2 minutes or whatever, like 30 seconds.
It was a really bad shot. They wanted to do a really tense, like, they had the camera revolving around Gray, not Gray, you know, the Trill person, and Stamets trying to come up with a plan. Adira. They were trying to come up with a plan, and they were trying to make it tense. It's one long shot that's the camera's just like revolving around them. But it's clearly not like blocked. The scene isn't blocked out very well, because the characters are saying their lines with their back to the camera. And it doesn't really work as well, because the camera is clearly moving out of sync of the characters delivering their lines. So this doesn't really work.
Yeah.
This just kind of sucks. By the way, at the same time, Tilly is hacking into the Federation because Burnham is like, hey, something shady's going on. Have you ever heard of a red directive? And she's like, I don't know what the hell that is. Yeah. Because nobody's talked about it for the last 60 years of this TV show existing.
Yeah.
So Tilly starts hacking in because she's trying to find out what there's some secret about this mission. They find it. We'll get to that in a second. They stop the avalanche.
Yeah, they work out, but the scoundrels escape because they took too long fixing this problem.
That's the risk reward. They could have let 1 million people die, or they could have caught the people they were trying to catch. And it's a difficult question.
Yeah, exactly.
For the Federation. These are the kind of hard-hitting questions that Star Trek asks. Do you let 1 million people die to catch 2 people?
Basically, all these events are here to establish that Rayner sucks ass. Like, that's what all these situations are establishing, right?
I don't think it's so much to establish that he sucks ass, but rather that him and Burnham don't get along.
I don't think so.
I think that's the more important
during the warp
takeaway.
thing. He fucks up during this by shooting this mountainside, you know, and stuff like that. He's like, and then he gets court-martialed too. Like he doesn't get court-martialed, but he gets called in to the fucking head teacher's office, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think it's so much to show like, oh, this guy's an idiot, but rather like, oh, this guy doesn't play by the rules.
Oh yeah, because he's like,
I
would kill them immediately.
He's a bit of a McGonagall, you know?
I would shove them into a coffin and bury them alive. Like, that's what he basically said.
I want to blow these people up.
Yeah.
And when they're court-martialing him, he's getting like mad. He's like, no, you don't understand, Mr. President.
He's doing the Jack Nicholson.
You bureaucrats don't understand.
You can't tell what you can't handle the truth. Yeah, and he's like, it's literally that, honestly.
They find a recording of the Romulan guy who's like, my ship is stuck. I have a secret. I have a secret to a special thing that's really important, but my ship is broken.
I stubbed my toe and I can't push the pedals anymore.
The coffee machine in the break room doesn't work. Somebody help me.
There's decided to die.
I'm leaving this as my last will and testament. The most important thing in the world is hidden.
Yeah, get into it.
Somebody has to find it soon, or else it will. This is Romulan Chief Gorkash signing off. Tell my wife I love her.
Like and subscribe.
So it turns out, here's the thing. They really did throw a curveball at us. Who thought this season's mystery was going to be about the progenitors?
Yeah, remember that episode?
You remember that episode, The Chase, when they found out that all of the humanoids in Star Trek, it's not that they just can't afford intricate costumes and the makeup is cheaper. They're just doing some makeup on a guy, giving him pointy ears and some weird eyebrows is cheaper than a whole big special lizard suit. No, it's not. That's not why everybody looks the same. It's because they all come from a shared ancestor, the ancient humanoids.
Yeah.
The progenitors. This episode, I mentioned it to you when we were talking about it, but it's so funny that, like, I think this just perfectly encapsulates how Star Trek used to be and how it is now, in that this wasn't even like a two-parter.
Yeah, it wasn't.
This episode is about, we're finding out the creator of our shared genealogy, you know? These are the people that set our creation in motion. But you know what? At least back then, they kind of realized that aspect of the story isn't really that important.
Yeah, it's just
like it doesn't really
nice
matter.
Message, you know, of like, oh, you know, this we all come from the same sort of thing, you know, like
it's like it's the full, because at the end the humanoid has a big monologue about how, hey, we lived for billions of years. We went out into space. We realized there's basically nobody like us. We're like alone at the moment.
Yeah.
We got here. We got to the party really, really early.
Yeah, and we kind of hanged out. Like, we didn't have any wars or nothing. We
didn't have any wars, which we'll get to that in a second. Mm-hmm. We didn't have any wars or anything, so, you know, we were like, hey, why don't we put our seed in motion? Why don't we go to some planets and we'll pepper in sprinkle in some little spice into the oceans, and then they'll turn into humanoids as well.
Exactly, you know.
And we hope that the fact that you're seeing this message means that you all came together to solve a mystery, and that our plan worked, and that you're working together.
It's
and
like,
then as soon as they finish saying that, the Cardassians and the Romulans are like, this is stupid. We don't know. Fuck this.
This is literally a Bluey episode of like.
It's like a fucking Bluey episode.
You have a treasure map that you have to your parents made for you, and you have to find the treasure, which is chocolate coins. You know.
It's like the important part isn't the big revelation of like, oh, they discover their shared ancestor. The important part is that like, it's the people, even with this information, people can't overcome their differences.
Differences, yeah. And
it's like, it's the same thing as it's again, it's an allegory for like for our lives, where it's like it's silly that we have so much discrimination and fighting over people's race and where they come from and the way they look and the way they think and feel. That it's like, we all came from one location. We all evolved from an original like being that came from Africa and everything, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then we still ignore that because we're just too hell bent on fighting.
Yeah, and our differenents, you know, rather than what makes us, you know, one.
We don't work together enough, and then the
thing about it is that like another like. I've seen just like some interview, like a snippet from an interview where it was like one of the, I don't remember who was specific, one of the producers, I think, like talking about how like it left us with so many questions. Where did they come from? What technology? I'm like, not once watching that episode was I like, oh yeah, I want to know more about these guys.
Tell me more about the ancient humanoids.
I had negative interest actually in knowing more about these cunts.
Who gives a shit about these guys? That's not the important part of the episode. But that's how Star Trek used to be. Now they have to take that and they go like, this is an entire season.
Yeah, and
this one episode is a gold mine. We got 10 episodes written right here, brother.
You're right.
We
Yeah,
can
bravo.
chill. Because it turns out that Romulan was one of the Romulans from the episode. They zoom in on they take a screenshot from that episode where you're kind of like, where'd they get this picture
zoom
from?
in at the bad guy in the back.
Where'd they get this picture from? And then they zoom in on a guy in the back, and then
He's
they go,
greatest scientist ever. And he's just like an extra.
these people, alongside a Starfleet captain called Jean-Luc Picard, discovered the progenitors. And then they show a
Unimportant
picture of a
captain.
progenitor, and they're like, where did they get this picture from? That's not important though. It's so good because it's just the old makeup. It's like they just pulled up an episode on Netflix on their big hollow TVs.
Snip and just snip the screenshot.
Yeah, it's like they're like, hold on, let me get up the reference material. Computer, play Netflix, Star Trek, The Next Generation episode, The Chase, season 6, episode 20.
Let me
And
just
their
find it.
fucking
He skips
ultra
through the
super
episode.
smart computer was like, right away, Captain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
But this is a whole season now because it turns out that guy discovered where they hid some technology or something.
I guess everybody else said it's stupid. He was like, maybe it's not.
Yeah, everybody
I don't
else
know.
was like, there's no way the Cardassians and the humans are related. We
Yeah.
would never be related to the stupid monkey people
Jesus
from Earth.
Christ.
Fuck
Yeah.
this. And then they left.
And yeah, they pouted. They went,
Yeah.
"Pff," and then left.
But the Romulans, as ever, being the sneaky people, decided, hey, maybe we could use this to destroy everything and everyone.
Yeah, we could create a fucking
Let's see
weapon.
if we can find that. Unfortunately, that plan didn't last because they hid it, and then the only guy who knew about it and where it was died because
He died.
his ship ran out
Because
of
the
fucking
toilet got
hush
clogged.
puppies.
Yeah, this toilet got clogged.
There were
and
no
he
more,
was like, he just had no more
hash
will
browns
to
in the
live.
mess hall, so he had to stop and wait for a resupply to turn up, and they never did.
I like the
They never
idea that
did.
I like the idea that he put the fucking puzzle box. He was playing around the puzzle box, put his journal, then forgot the solution to this puzzle box, and he was so embarrassed. He set up a he died because the ship broke, but in reality he died out of embarrassment.
He's like they find his body like on the ship, and it's just imagine he's laying in bed going.
he's weeping. I'm so
Everybody's gonna
weak.
be so mad at me.
And like it'll be funny. The data android, like, he just moves once, like, you know, when you got the Rubik's Cube just one move away from being solved, and he's just like, oh, it's open. It's like, oh god, no. I just need to move one side.
That's our story. This group, the progenitors, who basically didn't even have anybody that they could consider fighting. They've theorized that this secret bit of technology is probably some super important weapon or like the key to creating life.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. It's like, yeah, they certainly did something crazy by like seeding themselves, but it's not like they made humans.
Yeah.
They just made like some little phytoplankton that were like had a shape in their genes.
And it took fucking
And it
billions
took, like,
of
8 billion
years.
to
It
come
wasn't.
about.
The thing is that we
like,
made
well.
the Genesis device, bro.
The Genesis device is definitely more impressive, but they've never even thought about trying to remake that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead, we
And
need
it's
to
like-
get this thing that's even billions and billions of years older than us.
Yeah. I don't-
And maybe that will be important.
Mm-hmm.
So that's this season. That's the special treasure they have to find. Is some stupid bullshit? Anyway, episode. Oh wait, no, I've got one more note, Max.
Yeah.
That at the end, Book and Burnham, they have a long chat, and they have to realize that Burnham, she's different now.
She's different now.
She's once again different.
Once again. Yeah.
And now Book, she was different in a way that made her similar to Book.
Mm-hmm.
But now, unfortunately, she is different in a way that makes her not similar to Book. She's different now.
And Book hasn't changed.
Then Book has changed. If anything, he's closer to where Burnham was before. So I don't really understand what their problem is here. Their main thing is just kind of like they're both kind of arguing about who should have called the other one.
Yeah.
And then they both kind of realize, you know what, generally we both could have done more to communicate with each other and we didn't. I guess that's enough for them to be like, yeah, I don't think this is going to work out. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe one of them will die. Maybe they'll both die. Maybe they'll fall in love again. Who knows? I think it's much more likely that one of them will die, probably Book. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Next, episode 2. Oh, we've only got 7 minutes. That's okay.
No.
You want to know what happens in this episode? Nothing.
Yeah, it's free. Those minutes are fucking free. We can fill out the internet with our garbage, however much garbage we want to put into the internet we can. And
let's recap it a little bit. They found out in the book that the Romulan left behind that there's a planet with 2 moons. Turns out it's actually a planet with 3 moons, because 2 of them are synchronous. Yeah. And Burnham is like, I know what planet that is. It's this planet called Lyric or something. Let's go there. They go there. They're trying to find one of the clues.
Scene that's so fucking long. The one when they're on the planet with like the security system.
Yeah,
I was like
this planet
so
has a
checked
security
out.
system that's going off. It takes them like half an hour to deal with it.
Yeah, it's
really
fucking
just
long.
their killing time, because the rest of this episode is more about Saru, who we didn't touch on. He's getting married.
Yeah, he's getting
married to his Vulcan girlfriend.
He's going steady.
They're going steady. Mm-hmm. And this is his last mission, so I guess we won't see him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully
Goodbye,
he will
Michael Douglas.
not die.
Is his name Michael Douglas, the guy that plays
I don't
Saru?
know.
I can't remember.
I don't fucking know. Doug Jones.
Doug Jones.
He's got...
No, wait, Dougie is... Dougie from Twin Peaks?
Dougie. The thing I was like, I don't know, I'm just an asshole for doing it, but I know that he's like walks around with the hoof legs, right? He has the hoof legs. Mm. I don't know, but I subconsciously always watch him when he starts running. And there is a scene where you can see him where he's got normal feet. It's pretty funny because he's like a Saru, like, you know, he's normal sized, and then he runs, and it looks really.
Those are great.
He looks kind of cursed, honestly.
Dude, when they first show a shot of this planet, Burnham's like looking at a holographic device on her arm, and it looks terrible. It looks like
terrible.
there's just a PNG
it's
that
a
they're
PNG.
moving around on the screen.
I did also notice that. I did also see that. See that.
It's
it was
minor. It's so small, but it's so funny.
It's like I did it like exactly. I was like, whatever, you know, it's a small effect.
It's like, I know I'm not gonna complain about it, but it's really funny.
It's really funny. Yeah, and whatever. They're on this fucking planet for so long.
But yeah,
they
this
talk
is
about like the false doors and whatever about the they find the next clue. Turns out they're doing clue hunting.
2 saves them from the crazy security system, but Captain Rayner, he fucking Zoom calls in to Tilly and Adira and is like, hey, fucking morons.
Like,
do you realize this planet is 800,000 years old? Do you think they're going to be using our technology? And they're like, oh yeah, that's true. They don't have fucking crazy technology like we do. We didn't think about that because we're stupid.
He literally goes think, like that's it. Like just like
it's great. See, this is what I mean. Where it's like, I don't think they want you to think Rayner is stupid. I think it's the opposite. I think they want you to think that he's just like really abrasive. You know.
Yeah.
Nobody can work with him because he's just such a hard ass, even though he's a captain of his own ship.
Yeah, has a captain of his
and has been on apparently fucking
a shit ton of red diversion.
Apparently, like 15 red directives, 8 of which he like ran point on or something. Yeah. So it's like, if anything, I don't know why Burnham is even here.
I had to destroy those orphans. Okay, it was a red directive.
There was a red directive. They needed to die. I don't even know why they have Burnham here, man. Like, why didn't they just go to Rayner again? Why didn't they make a Rayner spin-off? Hey, everybody, it's his Star Trek Red Directive, the secret missions of Captain Rayner in the future.
He's in the 3 episodes of this dies, and then they do a prequel of Rayner.
Why? I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't really make any sense. I guess they just brought Burnham along because they know it's the final season, and they're like, well, we need Burnham to have a big adventure.
I was hoping. He should have been a Ferengi.
That would have been funny. Instead, he's just like a normal human, but with like pointy
weird ears.
He's not even like a Vulcan. He's just some different species where the only difference is that he has pointy ears.
Yeah. Whatever.
Anyway, this is Saru's last adventure. They find like a piece of a key for something, and they're like, "Yeah, we're one step ahead of."
They have one out of five
guys.
pieces. Yeah.
Book tries to convince them to like hand over the thing, but it turns out that they're like thrill seekers, so they're definitely not gonna fall.
Book is trying to convince the scoundrels because he calls them on the internet. He goes on the scoundrel forums.
He goes on the dark web for scoundrels.
Yeah. He downloads the Tor browser and he messages them on the Silk Road or whatever.
It's crazy. It's so weird how he's like describing them to Stamets.
Yeah, it's very.
And he
sounds like he's gonna lick his lips while talking about it.
Well, it's the way he's analyzing them, and he's like, these people love a thrill. Their whole thing is they don't really care that much about what they're doing or where they're going, as long as it's like exciting because they're in love and they want a thrill.
Yeah.
So his plan is to call them up and say, "Excuse me, would you like to take the most boring option available to you?"
Yeah,
and they're like,
exactly.
"No, I don't think so, thank you."
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for calling them.
Yeah, we just need each other. That's what she says.
Like, we just need. She like grabs onto the orc guy's pelvis, and she's like, "I just need this dick."
Yeah. No, but she holds onto his chest because that's where his penis is.
Oh,
because we don't know what species he is, so we know that there's going to be some sort of fucking reveal because they fucking do the they bring up their profiles and it says like human under her and it says unknown under him. I'm like, all right, it's going to be like some fucking reveal that he's going to be like, I don't know, he's going to be a Breen or something like that because they mentioned the Breens in the.
I swear to God, if that's
Breen
what
Republic.
they make the Breen look like,
I would be pissed too.
Because pissed off, bro.
Because I would also. It doesn't make sense to honestly for them to be.
They don't. It's not. He's not going to be a.
Because they would would have seen corpses of Breens before because they fought them, right? So he's going to be like, I don't know. He's going to be a progenitor.
Anyway, all you need to know about these 3 episodes is but Saru is no longer on the ship. He's gone. He's no longer going to be in the show. He had his final mission.
Number 1.
He's retiring to be an ambassador of Starfleet and live with his Vulcan wife.
He's going to his boring life. He's going to get Paul Bettany into Visioned. He's going to get Visioned
actually,
now.
this is an important thing before we get into the actual plot points of this episode. Here's another thing. Jet Reno mentioned.
Yeah?
Jet Reno mentioned in this episode. Not seen, but mentioned. Well, because she found out that Saru is a nickname, Action Saru, and she thinks Book gave it to him because of his quills that he shoots. He's like, no, Book didn't come up with it. Jet Reno came up with it.
Yeah.
Dig Notaro came up with the name because she thought it was cool that I had quills that shoot out.
Yeah.
Are we going to see Jet Reno? Who knows?
Yeah. She's still paid.
We don't know. They don't even say where she is. They just mention her.
$1 million or
that's
something.
Where is she? Bring her back. Man, I would rather just a show about Jet Reno.
Just do a fucking
She's like the most likable character on this whole show.
She didn't care about being in the show, honestly. I think
most
that's
likable and
her...
interesting character they introduced in this whole show, and she's barely in it. So
yeah. Exactly.
I guess that what makes her so interesting and likable, though, is that they don't spend any time on her.
Like
she can be a mystery.
Yeah, like they made the progenitors where they were interesting because they were just kind of, they did the thing and fucked off. Now we get to find out everything about them.
Anyway, back to my main points. Saru's gone. Burnham. She needs a new number one. Who's it going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, Captain Rayner. Tilly told me that you did a sort of a thing of basic decency of helping us not die. Sounds like you might actually care about me more than you let on.
Yeah.
The basic decency of not having the main person running point on this mission die. You took time out of your own day to do that. Kind of says a lot about how you actually secretly love me.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, that's silly. She's like, do you want to be my number one? And he's like, I'm a captain of a ship. I've been on fucking 15 red directives on my own.
He got retired, remember?
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He was a captain.
Don't lie to our audience.
That's true. It is a lie. Anyway, he says, I'm not going to be a yes man. And she's like, I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't need yes men.
Yeah.
Because I need guys who are gonna give me what for if I'm doing something I think
Saru was
right
kind
as
of
well.
a yes man, honestly.
Saru was a bit of a he was a sound. Well, he was a wise man.
He was a wise man.
He gave his input. Well, and now he's gone.
You sound like your eulogy. It was you giving
well,
a eulogy
may as
to
well
Sarah.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raynor is now the number one of the Discovery, and then third point, the human lady who's stolen the thing and has an orc boyfriend. Book knows her.
But he
Book
what
knows
does
her.
Because she's a little girl from her.
He
his
got a
planet.
screen cap of her, and he's a computer de-aged to her
Yeah,
to what she
filter,
probably looked
yeah,
like at
de-aged
6
filter
years
on.
old. Even
Yeah.
though
It's impossible.
this
It wouldn't be.
universe has complete, like, you can change the way you look at any point
Yeah.
with absolutely no way of being able to tell from a surface level. De-age her to age 6. She looks like this. I know that girl.
Yeah.
I know her. There's 8
She was
trillion people in the galaxy, but I know her.
granddaughter. Yeah, she was like the
She's
granddaughter
she was
of his
the
master or something. Like
daughter of
his
his
the
master's teacher or whatever.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
she's back and she's I don't know, I guess it's related in some way.
I don't.
Who fucking knows? And you know what? Who cares? This episode was pretty boring. Didn't have a lot
Yeah,
going on.
nothing much happened in this.
Like the first
kind
episode
of-
was boring, but at least it was progressing the plot. They clearly
Yeah.
knew that this one was like, well, this was a slow one.
We're sorry. We kind of like had to
Sorry.
just fill out the
Yeah.
10 episodes.
We
or
had
whatever
like
this season's gonna be.
we needed like 30 minutes to kill. We were like, what if there's a security system on the
This-
planet that they
It's
have to
literally-
stop, and it like takes like 30 minutes.
Remember that TNG episode where there was a security system on
Yeah.
the planet, and it's like I kind of immediately thought of that episode. I was like, is this like like on purpose?
I thought
Like,
they
is
were
this
going to
supposed
tie
be
it
a
in.
reference?
Yeah, I thought they were going to
Yeah.
tie it in, but they didn't.
No,
It's
I
like,
was
no, this
is
planet just also has like a
It just
drone
also
security
has
system.
yeah,
Which a drone security system, which is very stupid
Mhm.
because it's just these flying orbs that can even like self-destruct to kill people.
Yeah,
But Burnham and Saru get under some cover and just sit there, and the orbs could just like fly and shoot them. I don't know. It doesn't really make any
Yeah.
sense. But then,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. Who cares?
all of like the kind of action choreography of certain like especially like this episode has a lot of issue with like their action choreography when
Yeah.
it comes to like what's going on. Like you lose track of them, especially
it's
like
not,
during
it's
the
not directed
this-
very well. There's a
There's
shot where
so
like
much stuff in this show, like the desert scene where they're driving. It goes for so long when they're
Yeah.
driving,
and it's so
it
hard to see
kills the
anything because
momentum.
it's
Yeah,
all just orange and brown.
yeah, like you
It's
get
just
the
not good.
they go towards the mountain, right? They go towards the cliff that
Yeah.
explodes.
And then
It's
they
like
turn
fucking
around.
15 minutes and they turn around and then they're back in like 30 seconds back at the fucking town. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
There was a
You
shot
know?
in the second episode where when Saru and Burnham are like hiding under some rubble, and there are like 3 of these drones that fly towards them to blow up. It
Mhm.
like it's shot in such a way and edited in such a way that it looks like they kind of blow up while Burnham is still inside of the thing, but she just kind of
Yeah.
like runs out anyway.
Yeah. It's so
It
like
doesn't. It's not
it's
a very well directed show currently.
and honestly like yeah, exactly. And this show is just it's going to be expensive. It looks
It is.
expensive.
There's a lot
at
of
least.
very expensive
Yeah.
CGI.
Yeah,
in the
also-
first
yeah,
episode at least.
And like they could have just give us some more Strange New Worlds, man. Like that
They're
would be nice,
doing
honestly.
Strange New Worlds, bro. They're
I
doing-
hope they're doing it.
I'm
you
pretty
know?
sure they're doing a season 3 of that shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look it
But
up.
yeah,
Strange
but
New Worlds. The
but
third
in
season
general,
is set for release in 2025.
fuck, that's so.
We have to wait
Well,
another year
guys,
until
we're
there's more
sorry.
Star Trek shit.
No, it's no Star Trek to talk
Oh
about
my
for a year.
God, fuck me. All we're gonna have for the next year to talk about is Discovery season 5, man. Fuck.
Maybe they'll bring back Picard somehow.
Let's have a look at the names here. Alright, first
what?
episode of the episodes.
Oh,
First episode is Red Directive. Maybe we can
Mhm.
get some info out of these, you know?
mm-hmm.
First episode, Red Directive, obviously. This is the first iteration of a Red Directive.
Mm-hmm.
Who directed this?
that we hear of, because we're not privy to, as dead ensigns, as we're ensigns, we're not privy to.
Second episode, Under the Twin Moods. Then we got Janal. Face the Strange, episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
Mirrors, that's episode 5.
Yeah.
Whistle Speak, episode 6.
Okay.
Eriga, episode 7.
All right.
Labyrinths, episode 8.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Now this one's directed by Jonathan Frakes. Lagrange Point, episode 9.
Interesting.
Episode 10, Life, Itself.
Fuck. Okay. It's gonna be the
Interesting.
Borg.
Interesting. You think the
At the
Borg
end.
they're gonna be like the progenitors created the Borg Queen?
Mm-hmm. Of
I
course.
guess maybe they did. It's a humanoid.
Maybe the Borg, like, she kind of looks like one of those progenitors when she's like all Borg.
Well, the progenitors look like the changelings.
Yeah, they do.
Which also,
but-
do you want to know a fun fact I found out about the ancient humanoids by looking at the Memory Alpha wiki?
No, I haven't seen it. What?
No,
go
do you
on.
want? I'm saying,
Yeah,
do you
I
want to know it?
Yeah, I want to know.
Hey, do you want to know this? I haven't seen
Yeah.
it. All right.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I want to know.
they got a little thing here. It should be noted that the ancient humanoids seeded worlds 4.5 billion years ago, while American Indian cultures, like the one saved by the preservers, only emerged in the last 10,000 years. Regardless, Star Trek Online has a storyline that confirms that the two races are the same within the canon of the game.
What? So they made the like the aliens that give Indians Native Americans curiosity the same as progenitors.
Ronald D. Moore has stated that he considered but intentionally did not specify that this species was the preservers from the original series, the Paradise Syndrome. The Star Trek Online said, the progenitors actually existed for like another couple billion years.
The
and
Codex
then died
Century.
at some point after Native Americans came into being.
Yeah. Okay. That's
pretty fun.
That's very fun. Do you think they'll bring it up in Discovery?
I hope so.
But it cuts to Burnham playing Star Trek Online, and she reads the Codex entry for her and goes like, "Wait a minute."
It would be really funny if they put a new ancient humanoid in this season, but they try and redo that makeup from before.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna look really funny, I think.
Yeah, we changed over the years like you did, or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a weird, like, in general, these few episodes has like a raw mix of like references to different Star Trek stuff. Like we have the self-sealing bolts or whatever they're called.
I mean, there's a lot of little nonsense.
You
stuff
have more an alien in the beginning scenes of the ball, like the Starfleet ball. There's a Morn alien sitting at the bar. Yeah. There is the Cyrus girlfriend. She talks about the Breen Empire or Socialist Republic or whatever, and what are they called, the Crystal Entity guys? Not Crystal Entity, because that's an actual thing. Folian Empire, which is like the fire, like crystal guys that exist in Star Trek Enterprise, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, like, I don't know, like, do you think that like, that's the funny thing. They took all of these kind of not important things, right? Like little references to DS9, Star Trek Enterprise, made them bits of unimportant information, references, and they took the fucking plot out of TNG. You know? They took the thing that, like, the thing,
because that's what the people want, bro.
Yeah, that's what the people want, you know?
Fine.
None of the other series covered anything interesting, you know?
Dude, well, because here we go. Look, the whole point is that now we can have some articles saying Star Trek Discovery Season 5 expands on a storyline set in motion 30 years ago, you know?
Honestly,
finally,
that's
we get
true.
Answers to who were the progenitors.
There's just this one.
What kind of technology could they have left hidden in the galaxy that nobody has found up until now?
Yeah.
Will we find the ability to create life itself? Which I feel like has been a plot point in a number of episodes, creating
like,
life.
you know,
like the
Data.
yeah, you know, like pretty much everything to do with the
the
synthetic humans.
Doctor from fucking
Doctor,
Voyager.
you know?
Yeah.
No, but you don't understand, Max. With this, they could make little phytoplankton that will evolve into something in 800 billion years.
Yeah, exactly. And
That's more important than data.
But it turns out, these actual creatures will have souls, and therefore they're better than
They'll be able to enter heaven.
They'll be able to enter.
It turns out the thing the progenitors left behind, it was friendship.
Yeah. Or they just they go to like the vault or whatever, and it's just all full of pornography, and it's them like they was just jerking off on every single planet.
Pornography.
Yeah, progenitor pornography.
It'd be kind of funny.
And that's how they did it, That's how they spread their seed.
It's footage. It
was their literal seed.
Yeah, it's footage of they're like, finally we'll know the tech they used to create life, and it's literally just footage of them like ejaculating into the primordial oceans. And they're like, well,
I don't know what we're expecting to find here, honestly.
Well, I guess we all learned something important today.
That would be funny. That would be a really funny thing. That would be a good
funny ending.
No, where it like
really
ends in a
cool.
way where it like ends the same way the episode ends, where it just kind of goes, like you said, it's just we put some plankton in the fucking thing, and it just turned out to.
What were you hoping to get from?
Yeah, did you expect to find like a gun that spawns, like the gun from fucking Gmod, where you like?
Do you think we had like these big vats where you could grow creatures?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, I feel like you've done crazier shit than that.
Yeah.
In the billions of years since we existed.
Oh.
So why do you care? Why do you even assume that this is going to be greater than the sum of your own technology?
Yeah. Ben, you know what's going to happen?
I guess they can't take the risk of whether it is or isn't. They got to find it first.
That's true. That's why it could be a pretty interesting thing for the like Scandal characters, where they go like, well, fuck, we didn't make any profit out of this shit, But like, what happens, the way this the review happens is there are two there's this, how they pop up the picture of the progenitor on the holo screen, right? And they had another picture of Jean-Luc Picard like on another screen, right? The showing the fact that he was there. There's like the screen shaked, like the ship gets hit by a proton missile. The monitors fly around, and then they fall perfectly in a position where they're like overlapping, and you realize Jean-Luc Picard is a progenitor.
He was a progenitor
the entire time. He perfectly. It overlaps. Burnham sees it and goes like, "Oh God, we need to go to that Daystrom station where Jean-Luc Picard's corpse is." Because we know that that's there now. Because Picard, right? And they have to. I don't know what to do with it, honestly, because I don't know what that revelation would then go into.
Here's what they're gonna do. The thing that they find at the end is gonna be like a type of device or some kind of formula that lets any of the races descendant from the progenitors mate and produce children with any other progenitor offshoot.
It's like
and that's because at the end it's gonna be like the lady and the orc guy. It's gonna be all you need is love. The lady and the orc guy are gonna be like, we love each other so much, but we can't have a kid because our species are incompatible. And they're gonna find this at the end, and they're gonna be like, now we can finally fulfill our dream.
And it's the only way to have children is through
All you need is
love.
I think it would be real. The visual in my mind though of just like, so we've Captain Burnham, First Officer Rayner, Tilly, Stamets, we've got it. We've got this file. We've got this disc, this media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we're gonna play it. We've got the ship. Zora, can you convert this and make it playable? Yes, right away, Captain. beep 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 beep,
It's a
playing
simple
video,
MP3.
and it's just like the most horribly framed video of like one of these aliens like just fucking stroking his dick. It's just like grunting and stuff. just being like,
Turn it off. Turn it off. I can't. It's stuck this way.
and then he just like, it's just like standing on a cliff over an ocean. It's just like there's like 3 of them or something
Beating
doing
his
it, and it's
meat.
just like fuck.
Well, you know.
And they just shoot,
No.
and then it just ends, and they're all just standing there like, fuck, why do we even come here?
I need to go wash after this.
I just did not need to see that, bro. Did not need to see that. And then the message of the season is that's you looking to storylines in the past and going, we need to expand on this. Hey, no, you don't, because you're just gonna see an alien jacking off, you idiot. You don't need to know about this, because if you watched that original episode and you came away with like, tell me more, you're stupid. You're dumb.
Because that's the thing. What we don't realize is that they haven't discovered masturbation until, like, you know, they had warp drive. They had all this technology, all this. They didn't realize one of them, one of the geniuses in the progenitor, you know, science labs, realized he can masturbate, and then they can spread their seed all around the world. You know,
Just
all
like
around the
it, just
galaxy.
it looking like an early 2000s like handheld digital video recorder.
Yeah.
Like
I know it
video,
is like
just
literally
kind of
like
shaky because the person
Yeah.
holding it is like real. Is like they're not balancing the weight very well. It's just like moving around a bit, and the wind of the ocean is kind of like blowing against them and stuff.
the
on this
mic,
cliff,
yeah.
and the person is just standing naked over the ocean, going.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Fuck.
he's holding his phone in his hand, one of his other hand.
He's
Just
got like a magazine, like a fold out that he's just looking
fold
at.
that magazine.
He's just, and they're just all of the characters that people love in this show, just standing around looking at them, like not processing it. Like, wait,
traumatic.
they really were just like us.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we come from them.
We
you
really
know?
are. Their seed, their life continued, and then it cuts back to the end of the monologue from the episode "The Chase," where the thing is like there is something of each of us in each of you, and so something of you in each other. Remember us.
Yep. Exactly, and then that's it. You know, that's how Discovery is gonna end,
man.
And then we'll never see these characters again.
And then they'll all quit. They'll be like, I don't know. You know what?
Tilly is like, I need to. Yeah, that teaching was a good choice.
Yeah,
Fuck
they're
this
like,
shit.
Man, I never want to do a red directive again.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, thanks for listening. That was Star Trek Discovery episode 1 and 2. I think I've decided we should do these 99.1 to 99.39. I think that'll be funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe we can do episode 100 as like the last episode of this season or something.
Yeah, sure.
Know. I think
why not? Funny. No one can stop us from doing that.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want. Episode 9.9 and then episode 1.
Like how just how like the progenitors just like I didn't ask to be born. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And these fucking progenitors, they get daddy. I get like daddy issues, and you know, like from the progenitors.
Yeah,
you're like, you're not my dad. Yes, I am. Technically, kind of. I'm your ancestor.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to hear the rest of our thoughts on Discovery as it goes, coming to you live as it comes out.
Spewing out.
Then please subscribe, rate, favorite. Check it out, please. We want to hear what you think too. Leave a comment on YouTube because you can find the podcast there, or Spotify, iTunes,
comment your predictions,
Amazon Podcast, whatever the fuck. Comment your predictions. Let us know what do you think is going to happen. Email us as well, ensigns@gmail.com. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah,
let us know. We're curious. We're coming up with ideas as we go. Let's fuck it. You tell us. Do you think the aliens are going to be jacking off into the oceans of Cardassia?
Can you tell us? Can you give us suggestions of what sort of things they would be jacking off to?
Yeah, what do you think they're holding? Do you think they're holding like some kind of device that they use? Huh? I think they have like
they had so many planets.
They have like a progenitor Tenga egg.
Yeah, they had so many planets to seed. So
do you think there's lots? Do you think they go down to the planet, or do you think they do it from space?
Space.
That it'll land. Do you think that's what the meteor was? Maybe it was a big like icky cookie of alien juices that they just shot down into the ocean. Who knows? We want to know. We want to hear what you thought.
We want to know these answers. We had these questions since that episode of Star Trek.
We've been thinking about this for a damn couple days. We've been thinking about this for 40 years.
40 years.
30 years. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for listening. I've been Ben. This has been Max. Goodbye.
Bye.
It's shorted out, sir. We're gonna have to phaser it.
Then what are you waiting for?
Right away, sir.
Faster would be better, Ensign.
I can't, sir. We don't want to...
That's enough.
But, sir...
Stand aside, Carlton. I'm going through. You're alive. Good.